Hello, everybody. It is Monday. All day long. It has been a long day, man. I tell you. One day in my world. And I have a cat who is insisting that he should be part of the action. Hello, Tina and Rhonda. And Tori, hello. And Linda, hello, hello. And hello to Tim. Hello, Chance. Hello. Yes, hello. Anybody want a cat? He's free to a good home. Not really. Not really. I'm just kidding. How are you guys? It is. I'm telling you, when I finally collapse today, I'm going to just, it's going to be, somebody's going to pull the plug and all the air is going to go right on out of me. It's going to be one of those days where I'm just going to go, and I'm done. I have coffee somewhere. Because believe me, I need a cup of coffee tonight. Hello, Connie and Terry. It's Romper Room Roll Call. Like I said, anybody want a cat? Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm Barb Owen. It is drama free something. What day are we on? Is this Monday? It's Monday. Because it's the evening. Monday evening. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I'm about to have a little heat stroke here. Whew. I didn't get my air conditioner turned down quite soon enough. Anyway, good to see you guys. Chance is here. Barb is here. The Studley Duck is watching online, he said, so give him some trouble. And welcome. I'm telling you, it has been a long day. Started at before 6 this morning. It has been going all day long. All day long. Including a visit with the accountant. Isn't that a treat? Don't you love going to the accountant and talking taxes? Are you guys here? No. I'm spinning the ball. What in the world is going on? All right, let's quit and start again. No, stop. I'm going to stop streaming. Okay, start recording. Chance, shut it. Chance. Chance. Okay, we're going to try this again. I don't know what happened. But it seemed like nothing was going right. I'm waking up, CB, I'm waking up. Things were not going right. It just sort of goes with the rest of this day today. It's just been one of those days. I'm sorry, and if I said anything bad or offensive or anything else, or if you saw me throw the cat in the other room, apologies. You never lost me. Well, I hope I didn't say anything terrible, because I was stuck tighter than a drum here for a little bit. Anyway, hello everybody. So sorry, that was technical difficulties here in my studio. So I'm just going to say a blanket hello to everybody and say, let's get crack-a-lackin'. All right, I am going to... All right, hopefully this is going to continue to work. Hopefully everything continues to work. I'm going to, because I changed had to change a setting. All right, we'll see. So anyway, welcome. It's only 11 minutes after 6. 11 minutes after I'm supposed to be here. As I said earlier, and those of you might or might not have heard me, the Studley Duck is supposed to be in the audience tonight, so give him some trouble, okay? CB, good to see you. Did you hear, Terry, did you hear him? When he starts that, when Chance starts that, whoa, I'm just like, I'm over it. I am over it so fast. You can't imagine how fast I'm over that. I cannot stand that mournful, like, oh, you're so mean to me. Crap. That is just crap, Chance. Anyway, hello, everybody. He's a talker. He's worse than a talker. He's a complainer. Yeah, he's a big, fat complainer. Guess what I found in my room? Ugh. I found a new mat. I didn't even have to go buy one. I've had it for I don't know how long. It's probably not a good color to use, but you know what? We're going to put it on the table anyway. And I'm going to try real hard not to knock anything over while I put it on my table. This is big. This is much bigger than my other mat. Isn't that crazy? It was in my own studio. See, if a person would clean their space up more often, they'd find things like this that are usable, that they could just put on, just slap on their table and use. Oh, this is a professional outfit here tonight. Yeah, don't you worry, I'm a top-notch professional. You'd never know I'd been doing this for 15 or 20 years. Tell you what, aren't you glad you're here? Chance did his meow. When he starts that, I'm telling you, when he starts that mournful yowl, I cannot tolerate. I mean, it's not that I just dislike it. I cannot tolerate it. That's why he got thrown in the other room real quick. What a mess here tonight. Anyway, okay, I think I got my mat down flat. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. So it is Monday night. It is supposed to be drama-free. So far, it hasn't been exactly that, but kind of, sort of. Anyway, so I'm having a little coffee to calm down. We'll talk about the day after we get started here. So just a quick show and tell. I had to go by the bookstore to get something, and just like clockwork, I walk in there, it's like radar. My spidey senses go off and they go, look over here, Barb, come here. And what's over there? Magazines, new magazines. They're probably not brand new, but they were new to me. I hadn't seen them, so we'll look at them a little bit together. Yeah, we'll look at them a little bit together. And those of you who have seen these, somebody else showed these, then close your eyes or go get something to drink. It's okay. Somerset Studio issue. This is the May, June, July, so it's not new at all. It was new to me because I hadn't seen it. So, Somerset Studio. Art is not a thing. It is a way. True enough. Anyway, the thing about Somerset Studio is that you do get some art papers. The thing I don't like about the art papers in here is that they're glossy. I wish they were matte, but they didn't ask me about that. Rubber stamps. It says carved in rubber. I'm assuming they're rubber stamps that are carved. I don't know for sure because I literally just bought these and brought them home. I love this little portrait. Yeah, with flowers in her hair. These kind of remind me of Diane Fago, who, by the way, contacted me yesterday it was, and she was going to drive through my town on the 24th or something. I don't know. It was later this month. And we were going to get together, except I'm not probably going to be available that day. So, yeah, sucks to be me. Anyway, Somerset Studio is kind of a mixed media sort of magazine. They're expensive, but they come out. I love this grid type journaling, by the way. Absolutely love this style of journaling. You can explore all different kinds of options and possibilities. I'm not so crazy about this vibe right here, but you know, we all have our things. Some of them like that. Some of us like that. Some of us don't so much. Anyway, so there's lots of inspirational things or art to cut out and use. You think he knows that I love him? Oh, he's a mess, that cat. Yeah. This is another one I picked up today, Greencraft, and this is summer 2024, so I don't really know when it came out. And this is recycling things, you know, stuff that you own, stuff that you find that you have in your, you know, like a jeans pocket, for example, cargo pocket. You know, it's just all different kinds of things that you can recycle, whether it's stuff from a thrift store, garage sales, your own stash of stuff. There's almost always things that are made with recycled denim or clothing, almost always, and recycling things to make tags, you know, for gift tags or, you know, just all kinds of things. Who doesn't love a good bookmark? You cannot have too many bookmarks in your life. I will tell you that. That is a fact. And I guess it's never too early to get ready for Christmas, although I gotta say, often I do a Christmas in July kind of situation here, but yeah, I just can't get into it this year right now. Maybe it'd be Christmas in August. I don't know. Art Journaling Magazine. This is the April, May, June issue. So this is an old issue. It's new to me, and so I was attracted to the cover. The thing I love about the Art Journaling Magazine is that there are always tips and interesting things that the featured artists have to share with their audiences, and I find that particularly inspiring and good. And given the creative funk I have been in lately, all of these are quite welcome in my space. So, you're making a jean bag from old Levi's. Yep, there you can make some great things with Levi's. You can make or old jeans of any kind, for sure. So, what I went into the bookstore to get were some moleskin notebooks, because I never have enough moleskin notebooks. Actually, I got these with a specific purpose in mind. We may use them tonight. So I'm just going to open them up. What are you guys doing tonight? You can't do Christmas in July either. I'd like to. You know, in my perfect world, what I do is I'm ready for Christmas by October. Never happens. Never happens. Okay, so those of you that were here on Friday know that I was whining and carrying on. Whining, I tell you, and carrying on about the creative funk I seem to have been in lately. Which is true, all true. And I had a live class that I do once a month on Saturday, the VIP group for the website, HowToGetCreative.com. Rhonda's been running since 4 a.m. Rhonda, when you and I collapse, it's going to be lights out for a while, isn't it, girl? Anyway, so I'm supposed to do my class on Saturday, and I have been trying to get ready for it for weeks. I only do it once a month. Trying to get ready to do it for weeks, and the Muse inside of me would not get on board. Hi, Dorothy. One of the friends made you a lovely teddy bear. Oh, that's cute. Made a teddy bear out of jeans. That's neat. I bet he's cute. So, I even dragged out my Mining Your Muse course and showed you all the muses, aka dolls, which they all build on. I'm not going to go through it. If you want to see them, they were recorded on Friday. But it's a course that builds one thing on top of the other on top of the other. If you choose to do all the muses or all the dolls that are in that, you will come out with a huge library of techniques. Anyway, I did that specifically to try to get myself some momentum going because the Muse was just silent. She was silent. Saturday morning I got up and I'm like, something has to show up because I have a class to teach and not very long. It's like, I'm telling you, why would that internal creative part of you take so long? If you were here in my studio, you would see I will not give you a tour of it, a visual tour of it right now, because it is a mess from one end to the other. That's probably part of the issue that I've put myself in because I'm not organized and I don't have all my stuff where I can just look at it, see it, spot it, be inspired by it, And going through the cleaning process and organizing process will help that, of course. But I haven't done it lately. So anyway, I was just struggling to come up with something. Anyway, so Saturday morning, having breakfast, and I got up from the table and I grabbed a pair of scissors and I just started cutting leaves. All different kinds of leaves. Any kind of leaf. I didn't care what it was as long as it was different. Okay? And putting them in a plastic bag. And then I thought, something will show up to do with these leaves. And it did. Fortunately, the Muse came through. It was almost a day late and a dollar short, but not quite. So I thought I would show you some of the things that we did on Saturday. I'm not going to show you all of them because you don't need to see them all. There's no point, but I thought I would just show you some of them. So I used these fresh green, very supple leaves, and I used them on the big jelly plate that I have. It's a 12 by 12. I think actually the 12 by 12 is a gel press plate that I have. And so I pulled some prints. All right, so if I tip this at an angle, you're going to be able to see it, but if I go straight on, it catches the reflection because it's metallic paint. Okay. You think so, Dorothy? Well, I don't know, but let's blame him, shall we? But look at the detail captured from this leaf. This, by the way, is one leaf, okay? This is one leaf. And I saved it because I wanted to show it to you. Now, it is kind of dried and a little shrivelly, but this is the biggest leaf I have ever tried to work with. It's a mulberry leaf, and it is a big honkin' leaf. One of the cool things about this is that by pressing it onto the jelly plate, gel press plate in this case, it captured all of the cells of the leaves. Isn't that incredible? I've never seen a leaf this big either. And like I said, this has dried up considerably. It wouldn't even all fit on the plate when it was green and flat, but I wanted you to see what it looked like. And now that you've seen it, I can pitch it because there's more where that one came from. But anyway, that is that print. All of these were created and pulled with golden fluid acrylics. That's the only thing I worked with. Now this one is a little challenging to see because of this these light colored splotches back here and the metallic paint, but I'm going to explain it to you. This is citronella right in here, which is, sometimes they're called mosquito plants. It's a variety of geranium, and I have several of these citronella throughout these prints. This is a hydrangea leaf right here, and this is a hydrangea leaf here, and so is this one. Those pulled really nice prints. This citronella leaf is, I just love the way that printed, although this is not a very clear print. Still usable. This is one of my favorites that came out of the whole day of printing. These are redbud leaves, and this, I don't know what it was, came off of a tree, I think, or it could have come off of a weed. This is a hydrangea leaf here. You get just really good detail with that, but a lot of metallic. And this is just copy paper. It was all colored copy paper, and I used 11 by 17 paper. And the neat part by using colored copy paper, it's just a 20 pound text weight copy paper. The neat part about that is that you get, with the acrylic paints from Golden Fluid Acrylics, it gives you almost a leather feel, which is really, really neat. This was another one that was a really cool print. This leaf right here, I'm going to show you what it looked like because I saved it also. I thought you would enjoy seeing what it looked like. It was a little challenging to print with, quite honestly. That's what it looks like now that it's begun to dry and kind of shrivel up. There wasn't a lot there to work with, okay? And this is the print right here. So it goes like this. And all of this vacant space in the middle is not because I didn't pull the print well, it's because it was absolutely eaten apart. But it was kind of neat the way that it turned out. Here is more of that citronella plant right here. And I think that is a stunning piece of wonder. I just think that is so incredible. This is another part of it here, and this was that same stalk of leaves that I showed you on this one. So this piece right here is also this piece right here. Very vintagey modeled, you know, kind of grungy prints. Okay, this one is also metallic, and then cobalt, good old cobalt turquoise, or cobalt teal, sorry. This is that same stalk of leaves. That was one of my favorite leaves to print with. Look at this stunner right here and right here. Look how neat those are, how they printed. And that is this leaf right here. Now, who would have thought that that plain leaf like that would print that cool, very cool, give you that very cool print right there and right there. This is another mulberry leaf. So this is the same kind of leaf as that humongous thing that I showed you to start with. This is the same one. Has such interesting definition around the outside of the leaves. And this right here is this. It's this. Okay? These are elderberries in their infant stage. And I did that just to see what they would do. Would they print? And not only did they print, they printed really well. That right there. That's one of my favorite parts of this whole particular pull, which is pulled on lime green, by the way. I had 3 colors, a blue, a lime green, and an orange. I just thought that was so cool. And then over here you see another little tiny bit of a pull using an even tinier elderberry sprig. So don't pass up the seed pods. Don't pass up the 3-dimensional stuff if you're working with a gel press plate or a jelly plate. Don't pass those up. They don't last, and so when you start working with them, you need to print through the session that you're going to print, pull the prints, and then like this, I might be able to save this a little bit longer, but who knows. But like I said, I know where they came from, so I can get some more. And then this one is again that great big huge mulberry leaf. It goes just like this. It started off the edge of the plate all the way up here, down, up, and off the plate over here. That is how big that one leaf is. This was a red bud leaf, so is that. I don't know what this was, but it was something that a bug had eaten part of it. Oh no, this is part of a mulberry leaf, but it has been eaten by some kind of bug, but that's what it is. You can see the shape of it. So that was all mulberry leaves and redbud leaves, but highly metallic, very, very, very metallic. Now, anytime you work with a gel plate, if you don't have papers that are big enough to pull, yes, Rhonda, get your plate out. Oh, that'll be fun, Terry. And I have a limited palette of colors, Linda, from the from Golden Fluid Acrylics, and I also used a couple of high flow acrylics. I have a very limited color palette because it's just, I've collected them over the years. When I started buying acrylic paints, I just started with craft paints, and I just kind of kept working with craft paints. And so every once in a while I'd buy a couple of bottles, usually the little tiny bottles of the golden fluids like this. I would just buy the little ones. And then every once in a while I'd treat myself to a bigger one. But I really love the intensity of the colors. I really like the way they feel when I work with them. And so anyway, like I said, if the papers are not big enough to cover the whole plate, then you're going to end up with some spaces around the edges. And in order to keep your hands from getting totally covered with paint, which mine still were by the end of the session, you end up taking bits and pieces of paper and picking up what's left on the plate that's beyond the width or length of the paper. So that's what this is, and these got some really good prints as well, these strips. So I just cut the strips down, and so I don't know, I'll weave the papers or I'll make bookmarks out of them or something. This little teeny bit right there, that little tiny space, that's this little bitty seed pod, or seed, I guess it's a seed pod from the elderberry. So I guess the Muse came through in the end. Bless her little pointed head. She finally came through at the end, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I encourage you. You can see the leaves here. I encourage you, when your Muse abandons you, don't give up. She might be back. Some of these, although you can see some of the veining and stuff from some of the leaves, you know, some of them aren't great because they were the edges. But some places you get some stems, you know, these little strips. You end up with a few stems, a few things that almost look like skeleton leaves. Here's another one that's pretty interesting. And one last one. So I just thought I would show you those. And then there were a couple of just cleanup pulls that I got, you know, just whatever was left on the plate. But those are the colors that I was working with, and I did that on purpose so that we could see what it was going to be like to pull on colored paper. So the Muse came through at the last, and I do mean the last possible second. Hello, Evelyn. The last possible second she showed up. So I'm grateful. So tonight, what I'm going to do, you'd be thrilled, I know. I said I was going to work on the mandala. Yeah, not in the mood. We all know how well it works out. If I'm not in the mood, it's not going to go well. So I have these little, okay, in case you don't know, I'm a journaler. I write in my journals. I put pictures in my journals. And I like to cover them. Oh, my thing just decided not to work. Okay, whatever. So this is one we covered several weeks, 3 weeks ago or something. Anyway, so, and here's I put my sewing kit in here that Tim made for me, so I can always, and if I need it, it's only in here with staples, so I'll just take it out. I like to put photos and notes and ephemera from whatever the day is. I like to take screenshots of other people's art from Instagram, and I always write who it came from. This was from a note from Linda, so I'll tip things in. This is a picture of, and these are kid arts kinds of things. Here's a picture of that giant leaf. And I'll show you these on my phone here in a minute when we talk about these. Anyway, there's my journal. And so I'm going, and I like to write. And another thing that I liked, I don't know why in the world my switching device works just fine, and then all of a sudden it goes, nope, not working now. I like to write journals of letters to people, and so I have letters to several very important people, key people in my life, and I decided that I was going to do a little tiny journal because I can write little short letters. And I'm going to do one for my granddaughter's 2 kids. And so I thought, let's see if this might, maybe if I unplug it and replug it, it'll work. You think? Probably not, but nope. It's just not going to work. Okay, and I think my lawnmower guy's here, so apologies for lawnmower noise if you hear it. So here is this size moleskin that I'm going to be working on, just to give you a size reference. So this is the one that I work in all the time, which is about 5 by 8. So this one is, I think it's 5.5 by 3.5 by 5.5. essentially, is what this one is. So I'm going to cover 2 of those tonight. And I'm going to use some of my leaf prints that I just pulled. And then I'm also going to put some covers on these half-size composition notebooks. So this is basically taking a composition notebook from Walmart or wherever, is what they've done, is they've just taken that and sliced it in half, and they've just recovered it. So they've made 2. I'm sure they sell them for at least the same price as the big ones, or more, probably. And so I thought, well, you know, I'll do these with you guys and we'll chat while we do it. And 2 of these are for specific people. And then at the end of the stream, if I can remember to do it, hopefully one of the mods will be here to help me remember, or I'm going to give one of these away. But you got to be here at the end to do it, because I can't do it right now. Okay? You may not even want it. You may think it's ugly. It's okay. You don't like it? It's okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to chat while I do it. Is that lawnmower too obnoxious to you guys? I hope it's not too bad. So we've done this kind of stuff a number of times. However, we'll chat while we do it. All right, so let's decide which one of these I want to do. These are not baby or children friendly things, but you know what? It's okay. They'll grow into it. Right? They'll grow into it. Okay, let's take this one. I don't know why, it's just because I like it. Let's take this one and let's go here. Alright, so here's how I do this. And I cover these because if they all look the same, it drives me insane. I want to have the covers to be different, so I know, because I'm going to be writing stuff in these little tiny journals for a long time, I hope. And therefore, I want to have something that I find pleasant to look at. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to tell you about part of the weekend. Actually, the whole weekend. A lot of the weekend. How about that? Alright. So this is tacky glue. I like Aleene's tacky glue for this purpose. If I'm using something that's lighter weight in the paper world, such as tissue paper or paper napkin or rice paper, then glue stick is heavy enough. But for text weight paper, you know, it's getting kind of iffy to use a glue stick unless it's a really good quality glue stick. It's a little iffy. So that's why we're gonna step it up and go to the tacky glue. Now, the one thing that you want to do, and sometimes it's just easier to just get your fingers in there, easier to do that than it is to use a scraper sometimes, because you can feel where the glue is. You really want to get a glue, if possible, out to the edges. You don't want any dry spots in the cover. If you end up with dry spots between the paper that you're adding and the craft cover stock for these little these little notebooks, if you have dry spots in there, the problem with it is that the glue, the glue isn't there to form the proper bond between. I'm trying to do stuff and talk to you at the same time. That just rarely goes well for me. You don't end up with a good bond between the paper and the cover of the notebook. Okay? So, alright. And it's good if you work on some surface that is something other than the surface of your, like your table surface, or it's just a lot better if you use something else, because you don't want to get glue everywhere. And I try to save as much of the paper as possible. Sometimes not always, but I try to save as much as I can. And then it's good to just use, this happens to be a Bondo scraper that's actually made for putting, I think it's body filler on cars, and it works quite well for using as a big old scraper. Alright, so once you get one side done, and hopefully we've got no dry spots in the cover, then I'm going to turn over the other side, and hopefully I've allowed enough. I got this really close right here. Look, I mean, I'm right at the edge. Hopefully there is enough here to wrap around. And some of the blue is going to show down here at the bottom, but I'm perfectly okay with that. Alright, so I'm just kind of molding the paper to give it a little bit of memory, and also so I can see just how much of that blue is going to show. That little bit is good. That's okay. Okay, and then you just stick some more glue back here. In the spine area, sometimes I put glue in the spine area, sometimes I don't. It truly depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I don't have any other explanation for that other than that. So anyway, on Saturday, once I got finished with all the stuff I needed to do, I went blackberry picking with the Studley Duck. Okay? I'm getting ready to throw him straight under the bus, just in case you were wondering why I would be talking about him. Almost throw him straight under the bus. Blackberry picking, which he loves to do stuff like that, and I enjoy the blackberries, so that it's a win-win. But I know better. I know better than to do that. I absolutely know better than to go doing that, because you know what? I am highly, can I say it any more appropriately? I am highly allergic to things like chiggers, ticks, biting flies, red bugs, little bugs that are called no-see-ums. I'm highly allergic to all that stuff. And guess where they like to go? Guess where they absolutely adore hanging out, those little bugs. Anybody have a clue where they love to hang out? They love to hang out in the weeds in the blackberry patch. Yeah, they do. They love it. Well, I couldn't help myself. Who am I to turn down a date going blackberry picking when I'm going to get to eat some of the blackberries at some point, maybe? Yeah. Alright, hold on, I gotta organize myself again. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I to turn down the opportunity to go and give these bugs something to eat. Any of you that remember from years ago when I used to go geocaching with the other main man in my life, Quazman. Those of you that know what geocaching is, it's like a grown-up's treasure hunt. He got into doing that, so I went with him. Cannot even tell you how many times I got eaten 3/4 to pieces by bugs with those episodes, and ticks, little tiny, like specks of ticks, okay, little tiny ones, little bit tiny ones. You could see them, but you had to kind of look. They look like little specks of dirt. Yeah, so back then, when I got into them one time, those terrible bugs back then, my legs were literally, I can't even tell you how many bites, how many little bugs I had around my ankles and on my legs, and they would just, all of those nasty little bugs. By the way, someday I'm going to ask God, why did he create those? Because they don't serve any purpose that I can see whatsoever except to make everybody just miserable. Anyway, they will crawl up your legs. They will settle in all the places that they should not be, that they have no business being whatsoever, and the places that drive you ballistic and crazy. Evelyn says the supermarket sells blackberries. I'm going to remind the Studley Duck of that fact. Okay, so we'll continue talking here in just a moment. I'm going to show you as soon as I figure out which one it is. Here it is. Okay, so here is the first one that is covered. Now, I always let the edges extend beyond until it is as dry as I can get it. And then I will come back and I will trim it and ink around the edges, and I'll put something on the front cover, whether it's a word or a die cut shape or a phrase or a quote or something, or a picture, even could be a picture, I don't know, whatever, on the front cover, so that when I pick this up, I don't have to go, is this the right way around? Nope, that's not the right. This is the right. I want to know where the front cover is when I pick it up. Okay, so there's that. All right. But isn't this, I love this. I love how this looks. That's that huge mulberry leaf right there. I don't know about you guys, but I think that is cool. So that's going to live under a stack of books of some kind. Actually, I have a big fat dictionary here right now on my desk that I was using as a roll-off somewhere where I was cleaning off my brayer. So I was cleaning off the brayer in this dictionary. Oh no. I had several different pages other than the one I just showed you there. See if I can unearth it. It's going to make a big fat liar out of me, isn't it? Here it comes. It's coming. I see the edges. There. Okay. So I was just using the dictionary page paper as roll-off sheets to clean the brayer with, so that I would have those things to use in the future. So that's another thing to do with your brayer. Clean it off in a dictionary or other text type book. Okay, so I'll tell you more about the bug stories here in a minute. Okay, so we've used this one. I'm not going to do that again. Let's do another one. And maybe let's use, I like this one. Actually, I like all of them. There's nothing about these that I don't like, to tell you the truth. So there you go. There is that. Yes, so I'll tell you more about the bug experience here in a minute. Well, I got to get this started again. So I just used waxed paper to protect the book block as much as I can, you know. If I happen to glue the cover a little bit to the first page, I just cut it apart. I'm not gonna, it's a handmade thing. I'm not gonna worry about it. As I started to tell you about the spine, sometimes I put glue on the spine, sometimes I don't. The spine is always going to crack and look kind of yucky, and I'm okay with that because it's a handmade thing. Hand-covered book. These are not meant to be works of art, as it were. These are meant to be covered for, actually, first of all, for my purpose, so that I can tell, so that the book looks nice to me. It's part of my art creativity, and so that's part of the gift of the book. And also, I hate having everything look the same. I want them all to look different. All right. So anyway, when I was doing that geocaching stuff, I'll tell you about that first, because some of you remember this, and you're probably already talking about it in the chat. CB was in the audience way back then. We were geocaching in Kentucky, and all we did was ride on a bicycle through these weeds. We weren't even walking through these stupid weeds. Rode a bicycle. This is how insidious these nasty little bugs are, and how much they love me. And I ended up covered, and even though we had used bug spray, we obviously didn't use the right kind of bug spray. Didn't have the right ingredient, whatever it was. And these nasty, nasty little bugs absolutely tortured me. And so we started asking people, natives from the area there in Kentucky, what kind of thing they would suggest for someone who had been eaten alive by these stupid little bugs. And one old guy says, which I know now, he's sitting somewhere, not now, but back then, he was sitting in a corner with his friends at a coffee shop just laughing his butt off, because what he told me to do was to go get old-fashioned bluing, which is an agent that is used for making white clothes whiter, okay? Okay, bluing it's called. It is blue. Hello, Ruth. Yeah, it was blue. Okay? So, I mean, I was desperate, you guys. I was absolutely desperate. I was so miserable. I was itching so badly. And I was so miserable that I thought, I will try anything. Okay? Okay? Well, and so we went and got it. And do you know what it does to your skin? It turns your skin blue. Okay? It turns you into a Smurf. I turned myself into a Smurf. Now, if it gave me a little bit of relief. Not a lot, but it gave me a little bit of relief. And so that's the only reason that I did not cuss that old man. The only reason. But I did. Oh, they were red bugs. They were they were not only red, they were little tiny ticks, they were no-see-ums, they were chiggers. Yeah, they were all those kind of bugs, all of them. There were a lot of red bugs, and there were a lot of ticks, little bitty ticks. Yeah. And everybody down there knew what they were. You know, they all knew. And I just know that those people, that old guy, he probably is still somewhere laughing about that dumb woman that believed him about putting bluing on her legs to deal with the bites. Oh, yeah, I had blue legs. You guys, I had blue legs for weeks. Okay? Blue leg, because I didn't put it on once. I figured, man, if maybe you had to do it 4 or 5 times. Slow learner. I'm like, must be, you know, probably 4 or 5 times you'd have to put that stuff on. Maybe that's how long it took to make it really feel better. Yeah, seriously. Some of us are just more idiotic than others. Anyway, oh Lord. I was miserable. About the only thing I could do to make myself feel better was to sit in, I tried sitting in bathtubs with a weak bleach solution. I would use straight bleach if I thought it would help. It was that bad. It was that bad. So, believe me, I really thought about this blackberry picking expedition with the Studley Duck on Saturday. Okay, I thought about it. And I thought to myself, well, be a good sport. You know, he really wanted me to go, and I'm like, okay, I should do that. I should go. I should go. So I did. And the thing about those bugs, all those bugs, is that you don't know until much later, because they don't like bite you right away. They bite you or they crawl on you, but they don't make themselves known to you for a few hours, basically. And I didn't find the first tick until last night. And yeah. And then I found another one this morning. And so far there have only been 2. But I'm telling you, those darn little things, they can itch you just as bad. They can itch you like there is no tomorrow. They really can. Anyway, but you know what I'm not going to put on them? I'm not going to put any bluing on them. There's not going to be any bluing on my legs this time. None whatsoever. Campo Finique it is, unless somebody here has some better remedy. And don't tell me something. Don't tell it to me if it's not for real. Used to put clear nail polish on red bugs. Did it help? Did it help, Ruth? Clear nail polish. If I put clear nail polish on my legs that time when I got all those, I would have been a walking... If I'd used red nail polish, I would have looked like a red hooker. I would have looked like I had red hose on. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. So anyway, so far I've only had 2 bites. And we didn't get a lot of blackberries. But you know what I did get? I'm going to show you. And it was worth it. It was worth it. So let me trim this up a little bit. Let me trim this up just a little bit. Getting a little... One of the things about talking while you're working, you don't pay attention to things, and so you can kind of make a mess of... You can kind of make a little bit of a mess, but oops, oh well, right? Isn't that what Dina Wakely says? Oops, oh well. So there are a couple of things I wanted to tell you about all of this in amongst the ridiculous stories. Is look at your gel press plate or your jelly plate in an unusual way. Find some unusual things to use. Don't put sharp things on your jelly plate. That's not going to be good. Sharp things are going to hurt your plate. But botanicals are not sharp unless you use thorny things. Then you might be in trouble. So yeah, just think outside the box. I'll tell you, that must have been what the Muse was trying to get me to do the other day. Think outside the box. Okay, so here's this one. The edges of the little binder or the little book come here. You can see the fold that I have around here. Now sometimes with these, when I'm gluing these on, sometimes I have to go back and reinforce the glue underneath the edges of these little covers. And that's okay. I can handle that. If I don't get the edges clearly glued. But what I'm mostly concerned about is the body of the cover, because if you have dry spot out here in the middle of the cover, that's real tough to sneak any glue under there. And you know, get some after the fact. That's real tough to do. All right, I'm just going to bend this paper under. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some fresh waxed paper. I always keep wax paper and parchment paper in my studio. So I'm just going to put a fresh layer of waxed paper between the two books, put them together, and put the dictionary on top of them so they can dry. Okay, then we're going to go to this one because I'm going to cover 3 of these. 2 of them are gifts and 1 baking soda. Sitting in a tub of baking soda, like how much? How much baking soda, Ruth? Do tell. Thanks, Vale. All right, let's see. Well, we're just going to hope it's big enough. I wonder if my dog is still outside. Well, I guess if she is, I guess the lawnmower guy's dealing with her. I put her out to eat her dinner, and I don't know if I ever let her back in. The random thoughts of Barb's studio. So the long and short of it was, I bought every kind of thing that anybody suggested would help, you know, to deal with those ticks, red bugs, and chiggers, otherwise known as nasty biting things. Some people are not allergic to them. Not only do I attract them, but I am really allergic to them. And their bites last a long time. Okay, so this is ready for the next cover. Hopefully we have enough paper. Oh yeah, surely we do. But I'm going to show you what I found during the Blackberry picking that made it worth it. Okay? Okay. There we go. Look at these beautiful wildflowers. Now the blackberries are back behind there, but look at that beautiful wildflower. A paste of baking soda and dab it on. Okay. So I just, instead of finding blackberries, I found flowers. These were the most interesting wildflowers. I just kept walking around them and taking more and more pictures because they were so, the shapes, and they're very, very purple. They're between a lavender and a purple. But isn't that interesting? I know. I thought they were great. I thought they were absolutely stunning. So it was worth it. And then I found this other one, which you can't see this very much, but mostly I was taking that because of the contrast of the foliage. Because I've gotten interested in stitching, and a lot of the stitching greenery and stuff looks a whole lot like this, and I thought, oh, that's a really good picture. So anyway, I took that picture, and let's see, did I have any other ones? Nah, not really. Yeah, not really, other than that. So yeah, but it was worth it. It was worth it because I got those pictures. They were beautiful. Okay, so let's take this and let's see. Or do I want to go this way? Or do I want to go this way? You know, I'm just going to go this way because it's got a straight edge over here, so I'm going to go like this. Okay. All right. Got it. So these are probably going to have two different colors of this one may have two different colors of paper on it. I didn't talk about the paint colors. They're just all different colors, but the paint brand is Golden Fluid Acrylics. That's what I used, were the Golden Fluid Acrylics, and I had a couple of the High Flow, Golden High Flow paints. They are like working with ink. Okay, same thing on this. You need to make sure you don't have high spots, or dry spots of glue, especially in the middle of the cover. If you're at the edges and you don't get the glue all the way down, you can always come back and you can put glue around the edges, but it's real tough if you got a dry spot in the center part of the cover. I tell you what, my glue and I are just fussing with each other tonight. So what I'm going to do on these is I'm going to cover the two cover sections separately, and then I'll probably put something else around the spine. I don't know if it might be fabric, I don't know. You know, it just, I really try to create intuitively, which is what gets me in trouble sometimes because of the rotten Muse, whom I love dearly, but she just doesn't always come through at exactly the time that I think she should. You know, I feel like she just kind of lets me down sometimes. Got to get some wetter Huggies going on here. So excuse me while I open a fresh container of baby wipes. Something that's got some more wetness to it. Okay, I'm just trying to get some of this glue off here and off of me. Honestly, you guys, yeah, you know, the dry ones are too dry and the wet ones are too wet. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? These metallics veil are copper. I can tell you that they're copper, and they are the Golden Fluid Acrylics, as I said. There's copper, and there's also gold, iridescent gold fine, and iridescent gold deep fine. So I had those two, and then the copper, which is a really super bright copper, iridescent copper, fine. And then just a myriad of other colors, just kind of basic colors. It's whatever Michaels has, which they don't have a huge assortment of. Let my paper go down with a big wrinkle in it. It's whatever Michaels had in stock that I've collected for several years. Well, this could be an interesting one because it is wanting to wrinkle right away. It didn't want to on the little moleskin notebooks, but it wanted to wrinkle right away on this composition notebook. So hopefully that will dry out as time goes by. We will find, stay tuned for news, we will find out. And if all else fails, I will keep them for myself and do something different. Okay, so there is the front cover of one, or a cover, because on these, let's see, these don't have anything inside the covers, so they can go either way you want. And these were ones from Walmart that were the Pen and Gear covers. Okay, so we're going to cover this one on the back. You know, probably the adhesive sheets are going to give you, you know, they each have advantages, quite honestly. The adhesive sheets, because it's a drier glue, there's a real advantage to the dry glue. But on the flip side, you end up with hold on a second. On the flip side, on the dry glue like that, most of those adhesive sheets are super duper, I mean really super duper sticky. And so if you put them down and you make a mistake, you are hung out to dry. So that makes them more challenging to deal with. You know, so it's kind of like, but glue is messy. I still like the tacky glue the best for this application personally. It's all in what do you like, you know? What do you like? Okay, so anyway, Studley Duck and the Blackberries. Yeah. So probably the funniest thing, and some of you are going to find this hilarious, some of you are probably going to go, you know, like roll your eyes back in your head when I tell you this. Yeah. Yesterday, we went to a church in this little town here in Missouri, and the name of the town is Chillicothe. Neat town, honestly. I'm not a small town kind of person, like a little bitty town kind of person. I lived in a little bitty town for quite a few years. It was not my favorite experience. I will tell you that straight up. It was not my favorite experience. I find small towns, by and large, to be difficult. I find them to be, it's not common to all small towns, however, and that is, I have to Remember that. It's not common to all small towns. I will say that the small town I lived in was very, very gossipy. The one that we were in yesterday, that we went to, does not seem that way to me. I don't know. Don't live there, so I couldn't tell you. But it, sometimes when you're in a community, you get a real feel for the community. And all I'm doing here, I will put the camera back down on my desk here in a minute, but all I'm doing is putting more glue, techie glue, on this cover. Okay? That's all I'm doing. Yeah, no more blackberry picking. No kidding. No more stories about blackberry picking anyway. I'm just hoping. I did discover a few more bites on myself, but they're not, they weren't ticks. Ticks are horrible. I am going to ask God someday. I'm going to say, what were you thinking when you did that? There better be a real good explanation too. Real good. Because right now, I'm going to take some convincing for that. Anyway, so we went to this, got up. Studley Duck picked me up early, nice and early. We were going to go to church, but we had to drive. I think it was 2 hours to get there. Yeah, 2 hours. Okay, let's get back here. So all I've done is put glue on the back side of this, or the other side. I don't know if it'll be the back side or the front side. And so all I'm going to do here now is put this. This happened to be a cleanup, so there really aren't any leaves visible on this, but it's got lots of nice color on it, and it's very, very shimmery and metallic-y, which I don't know if you can see or not, but anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is, some of you, as I said, are going to think it's really funny, and some of you are going to think, some of you may be slightly horrified. I'm prepared to understand that. Anyway, Studley Duck and I do not live together. I live, I live in my own home, but there's many things where we both feel we're very committed to each other, okay? And we feel married because of being committed to each other, okay? So I'll say that. We do not live together. But we went to this church, and in this church, which was a church that he used to go to as a child when he would visit. I don't even not know why this paper has wrinkled up like this on this. I've never had paper do this before on a composition notebook, but it is nice and wrinkly. So this is either going to have character, or maybe it will dry out and it will be really good. I don't have a clue. I don't know. I'll show you. Maybe somebody here has an answer. Can you see the wrinkles in that? It's even worse in this one. That's crazy. I've never had that happen before. Anyway, c'est la vie. I'm going to put some paper around the book block. And I'm going to put it under the weight. I keep getting the glue where I don't want it, because I'm trying to talk and I'm trying to do stuff at the same time, and that seldom works out. And there you go. Okay, anyway, we're going to just fold the glue inside on that one. Okay, and I'm going to put another piece of waxed paper. So I have my stack going back here ahead of, I'll show you all these after bits. They're ahead of my workspace, as in closer to the computer. And so I'm just making a stack of the covered glued papers with a big heavy dictionary on top of it. They're either going to dry out and be good or not. Hello, Jill. Okay, Jill. That's funny. Okay, let's go for the next notebook. We'll try again on another. We got 2 more chances here. 2 more chances to see if this will work better. I don't know why it's doing that. That's so crazy. Anyway, okay, so let's go back. I'll let you know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to talk to you while I do it, and then I'll show you what I'm doing every once in a while. I'm so glad Chance decided to shut up. The cat is driving me bonkers. Hey, anyway. Okay, so we're in the church. This is a church that is pretty conservative. Okay, I mean, pretty conservative. Okay, enough said. It's pretty conservative. Oh yes, and okay, which ones do I want to use? Okay, I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use this one of these. What am I going to use on the front of this one? Maybe I'll use this one. Sorry, I'm trying to make up my mind here before I get too wild. So anyway, we go into this church, and we didn't intend to get there early, but we did. And so when you go into a small congregation in a small church, everybody knows you're new. Okay? There was no doubt about the fact that we were new, and his grandparents used to go to this church, and so he went there as a kid, you know, when he'd go to visit his grandparents, and I don't know, other times, I don't know. Anyway, so it was kind of it was very nostalgic for him. I didn't know anything about this particular church, which I will not name the church, by the way, so don't ask, because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But it's very conservative, okay? And so people came over and started talking to us, and Studley Duck loves to talk. Not me. I mean, I do talk, but you know, he's a much greater talker than I am. So he's having a good time reminiscing with people and finding people that knew his grandparents and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I'm chiming into the conversation when it's appropriate and that kind of thing. And at one point, the assumption was, there was an assumption that was made. I don't know. Hey, Dana. Well, it wasn't quite. It wasn't quite that, but it was very conservative. I know what you're talking about, but it wasn't quite that. So, okay, what was I doing here? I'm trying to give myself, I'm just cutting off. I don't really need to cut that off. Okay, never mind. I don't need to cut it off after all. So there was an assumption that was made. And do you know how sometimes when somebody makes an assumption, you don't quite know how to react to the assumption, you know? And so there was an assumption that was made that we were married. My engagement ring does look like a wedding ring. I'll grant you that. I understand that. But sometimes when somebody makes an assumption, you don't quite know what to do with that assumption, right? And that caught us a little bit off guard. At the same time, we both, as I said, feel committed to each other, and even though we don't live together at this point in time, yeah. And so the lady that was talking to us says, and I quote, she's just out of the blue, she says, "So how long have you been married?" To which, of course, I didn't want to stammer and stutter, and neither did he. But at the exact same time, I said, "Oh, about a couple of years." And he says, "Oh, about a year and a half." And I don't know which one of us, I don't remember now, because I didn't dare look at him, because it would have struck both of us so incredibly funny. And we would have started laughing, and that wouldn't have been appropriate, and no one there would have understood the humor that we saw in the answer. And one of us said, and like I said, I don't remember which one. One of us said, "Well, you know, when we've known each other as long as we have, you know, it's hard to remember. When you get to be our ages, it's hard to remember the details," or something like that. Yes. Oh, yeah. So like I said, some of you will find that very funny, and there's going to be people that are going to find that absolutely horrifying, and oh well. You know, is what it is. Is that what you thought was coming, Rhonda? Gosh, it was funny. It was funny. Oh, goodness. Yeah. I mean, we couldn't have said it any more simultaneously if we'd tried. Oh, about a year and a half. Same time, and I mean, that lady that asked the question, she looked at me like, you know what I mean? You know those looks where you go, I don't think this is going to go over well. On the other hand, you know, I'm not sure why someone would ask us that question. I know, right? Oh, goodness. We could not have scripted that any crazier than we did. And then, of course, you can't say, well, we don't live together. I mean, after that, there was no good answer. There was no good answer after that. None whatsoever. It's like we're in a box. We are in a box here, and there's not a good answer. And this is the kind of congregation, as I found out later, I didn't know at the time, because I was not, like I said, I wasn't familiar with this specific church. But they will ask people to leave, you know, if you don't really, you know, measure up. Apparently they will ask people to leave the congregation. Maybe not the church meeting, but the congregation. Oh, you guys, it was pretty funny. I gotta say, it was pretty funny. Anyway, so Studley Duck got me in trouble yet again. Yes, he did. Got me in trouble again. But that is funny. You gotta admit, that is funny. Don't you guys think that's funny? Evelyn's Leaving by Evelyn. I know, right? Okay, I might have enough of this one to put on this other page. Oh, I do. Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. Okay, so I'll show you this one, the one side, and then I have enough of it to do for the other side. And you will not know when we do this little contest thing here in a minute, you will not know which one of these you're going to get. So this is going to work for this cover. And there's going to be enough of it to put on this side over here. So that's going to be good. That's going to be very good. No, right? Oh goodness, it was too fun. It was funny. We have laughed about it ever since. But they didn't ask us to leave, so I guess, you know, they must have been desperate for people to be in the congregation yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty funny. All right, I gotta stick another piece of paper in here because I got too much glue going on. Okay, all right, so there we go. All right, now we're gonna do this side. Yeah, Studley Duck. I'm telling you what, that man. Yeah. Currently, you guys would laugh your butts off if you could see him right now. When you get, now this isn't exclusive to people of a certain age, but it kind of seems like when you get to a certain point in your life, these kinds of things seem to happen more frequently, and I don't understand why exactly, except that we're just older, and our parts have our parts have been around longer, and they start wearing out more. Is the only thing I can say. And so we were eating something last night. You know, it wasn't even anything that was you know, difficult to eat. It wasn't like an apple or something that was just real stressful on the teeth. And he has some caps on his teeth. And don't you know that it's not right in the front of his mouth, but it's like 2 teeth over from the right in the front of his mouth. It would only have been funnier if it had been right in the center of his mouth. You know, he didn't swallow it, but out it came. So he's got a nice hole. He looks, and of course it affects his speech. And it's like, right there. Yeah, right there. So it's right. It's just right. Yeah, it's just right there. Poor thing. And of course the dentist couldn't work him in today to glue it back in. That made it even funnier for me. I know I'm going to get paid back for all these laughing at him about this stuff, but you know, one thing I have learned after some of the experiences of the last however many years I dealt with, because I don't even know how long it was so slow with Claus Man and his decline until it became so painfully obvious that no one could ignore it. The one thing that I've learned is if you're on this side of the dirt, you might just as well enjoy your life, because there sure are lots of people that don't seem to enjoy their lives. And you know what? It's a lot more fun. You're going to go through this day or this life. You're going to go through it one way or the other, and you can either do it with a smile on your face And I don't know, I'm not always successful with that. Mind you, I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to you. You can go through it with a smile on your face or a frown on your face, and we do have a lot of choice over. We do have a lot of choice over that. So, you might as well laugh. You might just as well laugh and enjoy it. Okay, let's see if we can get this on here. And I'm going to see if I can keep the paper out of the glue, the wet glue. Okay, this one seems to have gone down smoother. Beats me. Maybe the paint thickened up on this one. Thickened the paper. I don't know. That other one, I don't know what the deal is with that other one, but the paper was sure wrinkly on it. Hopefully it dries out and straightens itself up. I'm going to have a talk with it and tell it to straighten itself up. Yeah, you have to flush the pity pot at one point or another. It's so true, you know. Flush that old pity pot. It's not gonna help to sit there and be upset. It's not gonna help a thing. It's just gonna make you miserable, and nobody's gonna want to be around you, and makes yourself miserable. Yeah, see, that's a little wrinkly in there. Isn't that weird? Oh well, like I said, I have not had this happen before with the wrinkles, but you know, there's a new experience and a new problem to solve all the time. Okay, and so I'm going to put this one. I do like how this turned out. Okay, sorry, I should have shown you a little more closely. There's one side. There's the other side. I do like how that looks. I hope you guys like how they look. We're going to cover one more. So I'm going to put this on my mat. And I just have a nice little stack of books happening right in front of me where I get to look at them. I think that's fun. And then we have one more that I'm going to cover. And so here it is. And yeah, so let's see, what shall we do? Should we cover it in this neat copper print? I like that. Okay, so let's cut this off about there. You like my fancy measuring? I tore the paper about where I think I want to cut it. We'll see how well I did. Gauging this. Oh, thanks, Tori. Okay, so we're going to put this right here. I think that'll work. Okay, more wax papers. Good thing I got a plethora of wax paper tonight. I like this brown wax paper. I don't know where I got it. It's called soy-free, GMO-free waxed paper, made with paraffin wax. Somebody told me about this kind, and the reason I bought it was not to use as waxed paper, actually. The reason I bought it is because a friend of mine who had sticky art journal pages said that she bought this wax paper and she buffed the pages of her journals and then they didn't stick together. And so I bought some of it, and I think I tried it and I think it worked, but it's been a long time since I've done it. But that's why this happens to be in my art room. So there you go. There are lots of things you can do for sticky art journal pages. One of the main things is not to use real glossy paint when you work in your art journal. That is one thing that really seems to help. Gloss products, whether it's paint or mediums, tend to stick pages, cause the pages to stick together more. So, anyway, I digress. But anyway, you can use, the theory behind this is use this paraffin, wax-free, whatever, paper, soy-free. Use that to buff your pages and they won't stick together as much. Anyway, that's, like I said, it's been a long time since I've tried it, so I can't tell you for sure. For sure, I don't remember exactly how well it worked. Okay, back to this. Hello, Brenda. Okay, so as soon as I get this one covered up, then we'll do a drawing, and then let me tell you why, while I'm doing this, we're going to do it with numbers. We're not going to do it until I'm done. I'm just going to tell you how we're going to do it, okay? We're going to do it with numbers, draw a number, everybody's put in numbers, and you know what? If there's two people that get the same number, which could happen, then we're going to have a second drawing or something. I don't know. Or, you know, if you trust me, I'll send one of you. If there are two people with exactly the same number, I'll send one person the journal, and I'll send the other person something else. So I want to make it simple. We can make these drawings complicated. I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm too tired. I'm too tired. It's been too long. The weekend's been long. The Muse put me through 9 kinds of torment. You know, it's been an absolutely crazy day. Oh, the other thing I did today, I had to go see my accountant to talk about tax things. Oh, yeah. So I had to do that. So that's enough to cause brain fade or brain fart, as the case may be for me, going to the accountant. And then my accounting program and my PayPal account, which handles all of the transactions, would not talk to each other. And my bank account, they had made changes in not only the PayPal account, they had made changes in the bank account, and nobody was talking to anybody. And yeah, so it was a whole thing. Anyway, it was a whole thing. So that made more of my craziness crazier. It did. All right, let's put this on here. And I don't necessarily need to get every single bit of this leaf. I actually like it when it runs off the edge a little bit more. A little bit here, okay? So that leaf is going to kind of lose part of its point, and I am a-okay with that. So I'm just running my fingers around the edge and hoping that I got no dry spots under the paper. I have gone through some baby wipes tonight. But that's pretty much what you have to do when you're working with wet glue. And one of the gals suggested, and I don't remember if it was Vale or who it was, asked the question about using adhesive sheets when you're doing this kind of stuff. And you know, if you're more comfortable with adhesive sheets or double stick tape, double-sided adhesive sheets, whatever, by all means, use whatever works for you. You know, use what works for you. There is no right or wrong way to approach any of this stuff. There's only the way that you like to do it, and the materials that you're comfortable with. Don't you love it when your watch bosses you around and says, it's time for you to stand up. It's time for you to breathe. It's like, really? Must you tell me it's time to stand up? Must you tell me I have been a fail in the exercise department today? Must you tell me? Must you remind me? I think I'm breathing just fine, thank you very much. Because it's like you need to take a minute out and breathe. It's not that it's not probably accurate. It's just, it's like I'm letting a watch boss me? Really? All right, hopefully this piece of wax paper doesn't have any stuff on it. The first one that puts it in gets it. Okay, we can go with that. I just don't want to make it hard for me or anybody else. And if we tell you that that's the way it's going to be, then if it happens, you know, then nobody's surprised. So, if we have two numbers that are the same, because I'll use a random number generator if I can find it. It's been a while since I've used it. I have a contest thing that's associated with my website, with my YouTube channel, but usually Race is here to run those, but you know what? I didn't talk to him about this ahead of time, so and he's already solved problems for me today. I do not have the heart to call him up and say, could you moderate a contest for me? Oh boy, that would probably be about the end of him for his mother today. That would not be good. So we're not gonna push our luck with him, okay? We're just not gonna push our luck. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the glue. What, are you here to defend yourself? Huh?
I just got done. Are you done?
No, I'm here broadcasting.
You're doing something good.
The Studley Duck just walked in. He did. I think he's here to defend himself. I should make you come over here and smile. I told him about your tooth. He just walked in. Yep. But they're not looking at you yet.
Did you tell them that you knocked my tooth out again?
I did not knock your tooth. I did tell them, here, are you okay to be on camera? Keep your mouth semi-closed. Watch what you say. This is my audience we're talking about here.
Hi, audience.
Yeah, okay. You're gonna have to see his tooth. Snaggle tooth. Yeah, I did tell them about our answers about how long we'd been married at the church.
I love it.
Oh yeah, you got a rare Studley duck sighting, you guys. A rare Studley duck. It is a species that is rare. What do you call that? It's not extinct, although that could be.
Sighting.
A rare Studley duck sighting. For the rare Studley duck bird. Rare that he is. Endangered. Yes, Terry, he's endangered. You're getting lots of people talking to you. Hey, Studley duck. Hey, SD. He's sitting over there. He is the best. Excuse me for anyone that this offends, but he is the best shit-eating grin that you will ever see in your entire life. If that offends you, click off now. He does. He has a crazy, crazy grin. He has a whole story about that. I'll make him tell you that sometime. About, was your 4th grade teacher? 4th grade teacher, yeah. He is, yes, he is a lot of fun, and he is crazy, and he is, he can be very trying at times, but because I am perfect, it works. Right?
Absolutely.
This is when you say yes, dear. This is when you say yes, dear. Okay, I am done with covering these. We will see how they turn out, and hopefully I don't have to go into patch mode of figuring out what to do to straighten them up. So I'm going to show you what they look like at this stage. Remember, this is the rough cuts. Nothing is finished here, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's this one that we just did. All right, you guys get ready to put your numbers in. Not yet, not ready yet. So here's this one, front and back. Okay. Here is one of the little ones. This is one of the little moleskin notebooks, front, back. Okay, here's another one. The other little moleskin notebook, front. They're very shimmery. Back. Alright, here's another one of the composition notebooks. So again, like I said, we'll see how they dry out. They may just have wrinkles in them, and then they're just, you know, that's just when you look at them and you go, well, they got wrinkly covers. Oh well. And there one. Okay. So let me put the stack back together, and then we're going to do, thanks. So be sure that you don't discount the jelly plate for using natural materials or unusual materials. And you too can thank my Muse that almost didn't come through, but did in the nick of time. Thank you very much. It was almost a day late and $1 short on that one. Okay, so I'm just making a stack here, just so you can see. I'm just making a stack of journals with wax paper in between them. And then I'm going to put some heavy books on top of them, and then I'm going to walk away from them, and we'll see what they do. We'll see how they dry down. Wish me luck. Okay, host. Here we go. Okay, are we ready? So the rules are, how many people we have? We have 30 people here. The rules are, the numbers go from 1 to 100. Okay, 1 to 100. When I say go, I'm going to give you 1 minute to put your numbers in, but do not do it yet. Wait till I type in the word. Rhonda, can you type in the word go? Can you do it, or do I need to do it? We're going to go for 1 minute. So Rhonda, if you'll type in go and then time for a minute or thereabouts. Type in stop. 1 to 100. Okay. Thank you. All right. And to get a hold of me, I'll tell you that in a minute. And you're going to have to trust me as which one I send to you, because I don't know which one it will be. And if we have 2 people that tie, the first person to put it in is the one that's going to get it. Oh, I need to find the random number generator. Ten seconds left. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, done. Artistic Frog Studio. What a great name. Stop. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm going to show you what the number was. Random number generator, 1 to 100. The number is 45. 45. So somebody in the chat, see if you can figure out who that is. Then I'm going to tell you how to get a hold of me. 8 o'clock, you guys. Anybody? Cigna, it's got to be later than late where you are. What are you doing still up, girl? Artistic has 46. Can't go over. Closest to it without going over. Yeah, got to be on it or under it. Closest without going over. Did I say that before? But that's always been one of the rules of number crunching. You're so close, Artistic Frog. So close. Closest without going over. Jill, what was Jill's number? 37. Anybody closer than 37 to 45? Going once. I know, Artistic Frog. It was so sad. The closest. Okay, Jill. I'm going to write your name down on this piece of paper. Jill Holmes, right? Okay. Okay, Jill, you have a week to get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me in the following ways. You can contact me through direct message at Instagram. My Instagram account handle, whatever it is, it's in the description box below the video. Or you can fill out a support ticket at HowToGetCreative.com. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of me, to give me your mailing address. Okay? All right, let's make okay, Jill sees it. Okay, so Jill, hopefully you heard that. You can either give me Instagram on a direct message, the Instagram, whatever it is, I forget what that's called, address, title, the whatever is in the description box below. Your first number was a double of someone else's. I'm not sure what that means. Play glad Raul wasn't here. He's the one that always wins. This is just for fun. So Jill, we're not gonna go any further. Just get a hold of me. Yeah, just get a hold of me on IG, or you can do a support ticket on HowToGetCreative.com. Okay, that being said, we're gonna take off. Good to see you guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday, okay? That's okay. No accounting firm. We're good. We're good. We're done. I'll be back on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I will see you then. Thanks for being here. And remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I'll see you next time. Bye.